Yo, 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 what's good, man? It's your boy O.N.E once again bringing you 60 seconds of substance. Today we're coming out of the book of 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 21 through 25, talking about submission to masters. For to this you were called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps, who committed no sin, nor was deceit found in his mouth, who, when he was reviled, did not revile in return. When he suffered, he did not threaten, but he committed himself to him who judges righteously, who himself bore our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, having died to sins, might live for righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed. For you were like sheep going astray, but have now returned to the shepherd and overseer of your souls. Now, I know when a lot of people hear submission to masters, the first thing they do is turn a blind eye or a deaf ear to any subject matter that, follows after that. But here's why you shouldn't do that. Because if you go all the way back up to verse 18 and 19, it says, servants, be submissive to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the harsh. For this is commendable, if because of conscience towards God one endures grief, suffering wrongly. So it's commendable before God that we submit to masters, right? And we may not quite get that in a physical sense, but there is a spirituality to it. And so when you look at verse 23, where it says, who, when he was reviled, did not revile in return. So when he was done wrong, he didn't lash back out in return. When he suffered, he did not threaten, but committed himself, right? And so when it says he committed himself, that translation means to hand over. And so what Christ did was he handed himself over to Pilate. And then Pilate handed Christ over to the Jews, right? And then so in that commitment, Christ now hands himself or commits himself over to the Father. And that's when it says that he committed himself, that's what it meant to do so. And you have to have a certain level of spiritual maturity in order to understand that concept. And that's why we got to submit to our masters, because we're not submitting to their judgment, but rather we're submitting to the higher sovereign authority of God, who appoints and allows those that are appointed over us to be in those positions. So another lesson that we could take away from Christ, along with the other many lessons that he gave us while he was here, is how he committed himself. That's your 60 seconds of substance. And remember, God is inspirational substance.